Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to touch base on some features SDS may have just confirmed for MLB The Show 25. If you weren't aware, SDS has sent out a round of surveys to gauge interest from the community on things like college teams and Road to Glory and college cards for players in Diamond Dynasty. Alternate card art such as player signatures and rarities for cards like one-of-ones. They even touch base on changing some baseline rules in the game at various intervals through the game cycle to switch up the game plays throughout the full season. So now that you're somewhat up to date, let's get into what the MLB dev team has confirmed recently. The first thing I wanted to cover and get out of the way is that the team over at SCS was very upfront about how much the community was critical of this game. This is not really a confirmation of sorts, but this is amazing news to start us off. This really shows that the team is at least listening to what the community wants and is gearing up to try and offer the best fan experience for this next cycle. In line with the previous criticism, one of the major critiques I saw last year was a dislike for sets and seasons, and that has been confirmed to be gone for the next game. It was a decent trial period these past two seasons with how to manage it, but it really never felt like intended in my opinion, and almost tripled the grind as you would have to rework to unlock new cards every season, which was a lot for more casual fans. Next up, we have Road to the Show getting a massive update, and this is by far one of the more exciting confirmations to me personally, as Road to the Show was the way I fell in love with the games back 10 plus years ago. They specifically mentioned that they are focusing on revamping the pre-majors experience, so things like the prospect showcase, but this is also pretty much confirming there is going to be some aspect of college experience as well. To what extent is not confirmed, but I would highly anticipate that a bare minimum you will get to select your favorite school you attended and also play in the College World Series. NBA 2K did something similar a few years back when they first introduced college gameplay, but you were limited to 8 to 10 options for what your school was that you attended, and this may be the route that SCS may decide to go down since there is over 300 D1 universities to choose from, and a lot of players in the pros come from D2 and D3 levels as well. It would be incredibly hard and expensive for them to get the rights to include all of these universities into the game. There is also some mention on how you will progress your player, but not much info has been offered on that as of right now. Before we get into the last four topics, I wanted to ask if you are enjoying today's video and want to stay up to date on your favorite sports games to hit that subscription button below. It is completely free to you and is the best way to help the channel reach a bigger audience. We are currently neck deep in the College Football 25 content, so if that interests you, go check out the page after this video. We will also be sporadically dropping MLB The Show 25 content nearing into the release with broader content coming after launch. Anyways, I hope you enjoy, and let's get back to it. Staying with the offline modes, we also got word that there will be a significant improvements to franchise mode this year. This includes things primarily in the offseason, so things like contract negotiation, trades, and free agencies. This is interesting as that could mean a host of new features like the introduction of international free agent market, something we see at the forefront of MLB news with Ohtani, Yamamoto, and most recently Sasaki. It would make sense for them to include that and base that off the hype that we've seen with the international market over the last few seasons. But if that is the only thing we are going to see revised or added, then they are missing on some major pain points for players. Things like online franchise, player training, and a more expensive way to involve the minor leagues are only some of the things we need to see improvements on for the game mode to feel complete. So hopefully we don't have all the general updates just yet. Next up, we have confirmation on the era in which SCS is going to tackle with new legends this season. They said they are going to focus on bringing players from the late 90s to the early 2000s to the game. In the article, it is specifically mentioned that A-Rod and Manny Ramirez were two guys they wanted to bring, as well as Roger Clemens and Nomar Garcia Parra have a very high likelihood of being included according to the Forbes article. And the most awaited legend would be Barry Bonds, and while there was no mention of him, they also did not specifically say he wouldn't be in the game this cycle as they have done in years past, so that leaves some hope for the community to see him in this year's version. The NLB is also returning for season 3 of their storylines, which is great news for the community. The story and getting to know the history of the league is always a great feature I look forward to every single game. If it is kept similar to the last two seasons, we will also see another host of new NLB legends at launch and some familiar faces alongside them as well to fill out your opening day rosters off right. The last thing I wanted to cover is the release date has been confirmed for late March with a early release period similar to what we've seen in the previous seasons. This is a little bit later than last year's version, which released on March 15th, so we'll have to wait a few more weeks before we get our hands on this game. And that'll wrap it up for today. That is all that the article mentioned to be confirmed. It's very significantly likely to be included. In conclusion, I do feel as though SCS is attempting to make the game the community wants, and there is a high likelihood we get one of the better games in the franchise this season after some letdown years. SCS has the best track record for fixing what ailments the game has, better than any other producing company that I know. So we are in very, very good hands. With that, we are done here. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to check out any of the other videos on the channel. Hit those like and subscribe buttons before you go. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.